Today, I'd like to talk about a syndrome I call management by magazine. You know the one. Your boss flies off to some meeting somewhere, flips through the pages of the onboard magazine, returns to the office and says to you, "I just read about this latest shiny technology that everybody's using. How come we're not?" And the next thing you know, you are. The problem, of course, is that you may or may not even need that latest thing, and you won't really know which until after you spend lots of time and effort trying to get it to work. At which point, the very same boss will call you in and demand to know what the heck happened. This is a common problem, and it's often the result of too little or too filtered communication between those dark places where work actually gets done and the lofty heights of senior management. It's not that the folks in the corner offices don't know what their various departments do. It's more that they don't know how that stuff gets done. And that's okay, because in large part, that's what they have you for. But when that disconnect grows too big, practical understanding is lost, and expectations quickly get out of hand. Consider, if you will, not one, not two, not three even, but 4 proposals and projects in as many months that we've had, all on the subject of getting information into a centralized system, and then properly tagging it so it can be found, retrieved, and used in some effective way. From where I sit, this is perhaps the most fundamental piece of the whole information governance, information management puzzle. For you can't reap any of the benefits of going electronic if you can't electronify all your stuff in the first place. My favorite lesson by counterexample here is found in a call I received 2 Septembers ago. On the line was a fellow who told me his boss had told him at the beginning of August that he had 30 days to spend the $100,000 budgeted for a document scanning solution, or else that budget would go away. Now, 31 days later, the guy said, "That's what I did, so now, can you help me?" And I said the only thing I could think of to say: "How did you know what to buy? How much paper are you pushing? Are your documents printed one-sided or two-sided or both? Do you have different sheet sizes? Are there staples to remove? Is there color ink on the printouts? Colored stock to be dealt with?" There was no real reply, and I never heard from him again. 2 things were immediately clear to me. One, as a consultant with a prospect on the line, I probably could have responded with something more constructive and possibly landed a new client, but I just couldn't help it. And 2, this poor chap undoubtedly was a victim of management by magazine. His boss didn't really know what he was asking for, and the guy himself maybe knew even less. And now they're both stuck with $100,000 of scanning hardware and software that may or may not do what they need it to do. Now, hey, listen, I love the latest and greatest tools as much as the next guy, probably more even, or I wouldn't be doing what I do. But I've never understood why businesses rush out and buy stuff without properly vetting it first. I mean, we don't do that when we buy a refrigerator, do we? First, we figure out how big or small it has to be to fit in its space in the kitchen, and even more importantly, to fit in the space between the door frames to be sure we can get it into the kitchen in the first place. What I don't get is why we don't do the same sort of thing when we consider getting an information solution that costs orders of magnitude more than a fridge does. The answer too often is, because our boss told us to. Plus, hey, it's not our money anyway. Now, if you're watching this, you're probably inoculated against this particular condition. But it's insidious, and even if you're immune, chances are there are plenty of others in your organization who aren't. So be on the lookout for occurrences of management by magazine at your place, and be prepared to take steps to help counter it. The fundamentals are considered fundamental for a reason, for without them there's no way to get any value, never mind the most value possible, from any technology you adopt. And that, in so many words, is my perspective check for today.